Welcome to Stamping Fun with Donna. I'm Donna, and every Monday I bring you a Monday Mini. A Monday Mini is a card that's designed to be made in 10 minutes or less. This one's going to be a lot less than 10 minutes if you make this one. It's for those times when you're running out the door and don't have time to make a more intricate card. Now, there's definitely times for more intricate cards, but there's also times that all of us have where at the last minute we realize we don't have a card. And that's what Monday Minis are about, when you don't have a lot of time and you want to get it done and have it still be beautiful. Today we're going to be making something that looks like this. It's really a very quick and easy card, but it looks absolutely beautiful. Stick around to the end because I have all sorts of different kinds of variations on this that maybe you don't think of. I'm going to put that aside. But right now we are actually, this one was made with the Lily of the Valley set, and the DSP is called, where is it? I wrote it down. It's not exactly Lily of the Valley, it's Valley in Bloom is the designer series paper. And then I have been using these shimmering dots for everything. They are so pretty. I don't know if you can see the total shimmer on there, but it's really beautiful. And then all you need to do this with is a little bit of designer series paper and one sheet of paper. Now, most of my paper projects with this I make with white. You can make them with other things, but I really like this project more made with basic white. So what I'm going to do is take one sheet and I'm going to cut it in half like normal at 5.5 inches, just like that. Set one aside, and this one we are going to cut in half again, so that's at 4.25. Now I'm actually going to take some off the edges. I'm going to set this one aside for the sentiment. This one I'm going to take off 1/4 inch off of each side. This is the, whoops, that's not 1/4 inch. This would be 1/4 inch. This is the white piece that we're going to use for the top layer here. And so we're going to make this one at 5.25 and put this aside by 4. You actually could just cut it at 4 when you're cutting it the first time if you want to. I actually prefer to have them all cut when I cut them in half, to actually cut them in half. Now I'm going to set this aside, and you can use this extra piece of white for your saying, whatever it is you want to put on here, your sentiment. You can also use a scrap. I'm going to use a scrap that I have lying around, but that's going to be for a little bit later. So let me go ahead and put the trimmer aside. That's all we need with the trimmer. Now I'm going to take the card base and fold it in half. Just like that, and there you go. Now we have all the pieces we need for the card, except for the part that is the designer series paper. And I have decided for this card, I want to use this piece of designer series paper, which is Silly Old Bear from the Silly Old Bear suite. I just really like this. My sister-in-law just had a little bit of a small operation. She loves Winnie the Pooh, and I think this would make a really nice piece of paper, a really nice card for her for getting better. So I just cut this one. You want to cut this one the same size width to width as you cut the piece that you're going to be putting it on. So you want it to be 4.25 across. It doesn't have to be very big up and down. I made this a little bit bigger. I cut the Silly Old Bear piece a little bit bigger because I wasn't sure exactly which part of it I want to have showing. But normally you can cut this to 4.25 by 3. And this one actually looks like might be a little bit wide. Let me go ahead and bring the trimmer back in for just a second. Make sure that this is at, I'm sorry, I said 4.25. Make sure that this is at 4. There we go. 4. And as I said, I usually make this part about 3 inches, 2.5 inches. Doesn't have to be very big. And that's for the designer piece of paper, the designer series paper. So what I'm going to do is put the card base aside and bring back the piece that we have cut that's 5.25 up and down and 4 side to side. And this is usually white, but you can do it in another color if you prefer. So what all I'm going to do is tear it right across the middle here. And there you go. That's all I have to do pretty much. Now, when I tear it, if there's, you can see on this edge, you can see the fibers, which I love. But if there's too much fibers, I just re-tear a little bit about around there. And for this side, what I'm going to do is also just, there's a smooth side, and then there's the side where you can see the fibers. I'm just going to cut the side where you can, or tear the side where you can see the fibers to be a little bit smaller. And those are all the pieces we need, except for the greeting. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the white and we're going to glue it over the designer series paper you have with I like it with this torn side up. If you want to have it the smoother side up, you can do that. Okay, it looks like I am going to want to put this piece of paper around here so we can see Pooh looking up. We can see Piglet. Very, very cute. So all we have to do now is take the bottom piece, or the top, one of the 2 pieces of white that we have torn, turn it over, and we want to put a thin line of glue along the torn edge. Now here I got a little bit too much. I don't know if you know this, but if you open the bottom part of your liquid glue, you can use that to sort of squeegee it. If you get too much glue and you don't want to have it blob and have it come out, you can just squeegee that using that. Now, using the other end of the green glue. Now, let me see. I'm just going to put our piece of designer series paper side to side. Make sure that's in the correct spot. That looks good. Just squeeze it over just a little bit. There we go. Now, for the top piece, I want to, as I said, put it so you can see Piglet and so you can see Pooh. So I will put it there. I am probably going to go ahead and cut this down just a little bit. It's just a little bit more paper than I need. So we're going to go ahead and cut this. That should give me plenty. And I can use this piece for something else if I want. Now I'm going to take the white, and as I did with the other, turn it over so that it's on the smooth side, so that the torn edge is up, and put a little bit of glue. And again, I got a little bit too much out there. My glue is very juicy today, so I'm just going to use the back end of the glue to sort of spread it around. Now I'm going to take the piece of white that is not yet connected, the piece of the top, and I'm going to just place it wherever I like for the scene, which I think will be right about here. And you just want to make sure that side to side it's even, because if you have it side to side that's even, then you know that it's straight on here. There we go. That's pretty much the card. Now, obviously it's too long, but that's because whatever part you have here in the middle has increased the size of the paper. So I take it back with the trimmer and I just cut it again. Now this one, I usually cut a little off each side. You can cut it wherever you want. I'm gonna cut it here, take this top piece away. And I know I want the total to be 5 1/4. So let me put it at 5 1/4 here. There we go. And cut it on the other end as well. Now we have the middle piece. That's all there was to it, to create something that looks like that. So what we're going to do here is to take the card base, and we're going to put the piece that we just did on top of it. Now, what we're going to do is, I like to pop it up. You don't have to pop it up, but I think it adds a little bit extra to have it popped up. You get a shadow. It's a little bit more interactive, and it looks a little bit better. So I'm going to put here 3, what I usually do is 3 Stampin' Dimensions across the top and bottom each, and 2 in the middle, and then just take the backings off. And I'm going to, one of the Stampin' Dimensional backs came flying back. Make sure I get them all. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and place the piece with this designer series paper right in the middle, on top of, in the middle of the other white piece. There we go. And we just need a sentiment. So for this one, I thought we would use the Spotlight on Nature dies, because what I want to do is I want to use a small stamp from the Silly Old Friends bundle. So I'm put it onto a little, I already put it onto a block, I thought. So it should be around here somewhere. Let me take just a quick little look. I do not see it. So I'm going to bring in a block, and I'm going to bring in the stamp set that we want to use. So let's see. Trying to look for something that has a little bit of a nice little saying for my sister-in-law. So let me just check where I put that silly darn thing. I had everything ready. So I just don't see it over here. Okay, so we're gonna have to grab a different one. And I know I have something here. 1 second. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so this is from the Lily of the Valley. These are the stamps from the Lily of the Valley, and they have great sayings. So we'll do to one of the nicest people I know. I think that's a beautiful sentiment. And that can be used for my sister-in-law, for me to send it to her, for her to feel better with. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the block. And then I'm taking, because we're using this one, we're not going to use and I found it. Okay, I had set it aside, so I have it. So what I think we'll do is take the Spotlight on Nature dies, which are right here, and take the second to smallest one out. These are great circle dies. And I'm going to bring in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now, if you watch my videos, you know I sometimes lose things like that. I think I have everything all set, and then at the last minute, I can't find what I need. So let me see here if I can grab the plates. And oftentimes, it's because I set it somewhere so that I would have it, and then all of a sudden, I can't find it. So when we use a die, of course, we want to use the die plate, the base plate. We want to use the little shim here, and then we want to use the top 2 acrylic plates. Here's one of them, and these are number 3s, and the other one is right here. And you want to put a piece of paper. So we have this one that we had saved from when we cut it, and we want to cut this in the corner here. Actually, I wonder if I want to cut it in the middle. No, I'll just cut it in the corner. Put the second acrylic base on top, run it through. There you go. And I can put the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine away. And now I have this really beautiful circle. Look at how beautiful that is. That's gorgeous. I love those Spotlight on Nature dies. They're just so cute. So I'm going to bring back in the old bother. And I made a smaller circle because I have a smaller sentiment. And again, this is from, sorry about that. This is from the Silly Old Bear suite, and that's a sentiment from it. So I'm going to use here, what is this, Old Olive, and just stamp this up and right on the middle of the circle. There we go. Great. Okay, that turned out beautiful. And then I'm going to take my Stampin' Dimensionals again, and I'm going to, looks like I put the Old Olive ink pad on it, but that's okay. I'll wipe those off when we're done. And I'm just going to put a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals right on the back of the saying. Now, I know it's small. You could probably get by with one, but I don't want it to get off kilter, so I do 2. Let's see where we want to put, oh bother. I think right here. Don't want to cover up any of poo. And there you go. There is the whole card. I like to decorate the inside of these cards often. So I'm going to bring back the piece of paper that I had cut off, and I'm just going to glue it right there. That way I get to, ooh, it's cute on that side too, but I think it would fit better with what we've done to have the bear side up. So when you are cutting pieces off, think about what the other side looks like, because you can always use them for things like putting it on the bottom strip of our card, which I like to do because it sort of brings in the back, the inside of the card to the outside. And there we go. That's it. Although I do want to use those shimmering dots again, if I can just pull them out here. They come in blue. They don't say what color it is. I'm not sure which blue this is. Not sure which blue this is. And then green and then white. And the white ones, you might be able to see there. I colored that one. I'm going to show you one of the examples that's going to have it colored. You can actually use your Stampin' Blends to color these. And I'm trying to figure out which color would go well here. I've been using more of the greens, so I think I'm going to use the blue. And I like to use, I'm about to tell you which way I like to use it, and then it goes slithering across the entire room. Okay, so I like to use my Stampin' Up tool in order to pull these off. You just push it with the side that has the putty, and it comes right off and goes right into place. Stays on there with the putty and goes right into place. There we go. So that's all there is to today's card. It's really easy, really fast, and it comes out really cute. I did, as I said, have some more different examples because I did these in all sorts of ways. You saw the first one. This one has some twine behind the words, which I think came out great. This is the one we did today, of course. This one here, I used the Greetings for All to put on here, and I popped that up rather than stamping out my own greeting. This is a great set. It's got white letters on black and black letters on white, and it's just a bunch of different sayings. And then I added some die cuts here, and I made it smaller. You can make it smaller, you can make it bigger, depending upon what you like at the moment. This one here, I've never seen it done this way, but I tried it vertically. And vertically is really interesting too. It's very different from the horizontal ones that we have here, but it's really interesting. So the vertical one is done the same way, except you tear it vertically. And then I put So Grateful for You. This is from the Lily of the Valley set. And oftentimes when it's white upon white, I like to use a Stampin' sponge to edge the daubers. That's the name of it. To edge the edge so that it stands up a little bit more. And then I put this one onto a Stampin' Dimensional. And these are the ones that I had mentioned that I had colored, and they're in the color of the ink that I used, but I did that with the Stampin' Blend. This one here, I ran through, is that something on there? Yep. I ran through an embossing folder. This is the Forever Plaid embossing folder, and I ran the white piece through it before I ripped it. It's much easier to do it before you rip it and cut it down and have it be on the right side. And then I also backed this one. All these others, I have them sort of white paper on white, which is the way I usually like to do it. But I wanted to show what it would look like if you put another piece of paper behind there. And that's an old olive, which matches the words that are up here. And then again, I used the blue from the shimmering dots. And then this one here, I put some die cuts on it. And let me see if I can't squeeze these a little bit better. And I used one of those Greetings for All again. And this Greeting for All was black words on white background. And I wanted to stand out a little more. So I used a brush, and I just brushed some of the ink on it purposely to be a little bit uneven, to just give it a little more interest. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you had a great time. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm really trying to be to grow it and to be consistent about getting out videos. So I would love to have you be a subscriber. Leave a comment below. And if you do this, please go ahead and leave a comment and tag me on it. Thank you so much. It was great having you here. See you next Monday. Bye.